Welcome to the lecture session of Definite Integrals, Part 7e of Integration of Mathematics for Class 12. It is according to the reduced syllabus of the academic year 2020-21. In this lecture, we will study about limit of a sum, fundamental theorems of calculus, numerical problems, and properties of definite integrals. As you know that there will be 22 marks questions in your board examination. Hence, this is a very important chapter. Please study it with full concentration. Definite integrals introduction. Point number 1. If fx is a continuous a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b, then the definite integral of fx from x is equal to a to x is equal to b is denoted by integral a to b fx dx, where a is called lower limit of the integral. See, this is the return. This signal is the lower limit and the top one is upper limit, and b is called the upper limit of the integral. If capital Fx is antiderivative or integral of small fx, function of x, then we write value of fx as integral of small fx. So then the point number 3 is integral a to b fx dx is equal to value of fx at f is equal to b minus value of f at x is equal to a. This is called the value of definite integrals and is always unique. So this is capital Fx is the value of x from a to b equals f at b minus f at x is equal to a. Therefore, please note that it's a very important point. There is no constant of integration in definite integrals, because for two different values, that is at f is equal to b and at f x is equal to a, both the constant of integration gets cancelled. Hence, this is a very important difference between definite integrals and indefinite integrals. In the previous slides, whatever we have studied from section 7a to 7d, there was always constant of integration, whereas in definite integrals, there is no constant of integration. Point number 5. Product rule of definite integrals. So it is given by integral a to b of f of x, where f of x is the first function into g of x. G of x is the second function of dx equals, it is given by, please note here very carefully, this formula we have studied previously. So it is a square bracket of first function into integral of the second function dx. Where, close the bracket, the limits are x is equal to a to b. Here the boundaries are specified. So the a to b is written in the square bracket, not inside in the integral sign of inside the bracket, minus integral a to b of within brackets d by dx of fx into integral of gx dx. Close the bracket dx. So please note the limits are specified at the square bracket x is equal to a to x is equal to b, and the next integral after my negative sign a to b. Properties of definite integrals. First property, integral a to b of f of x dx is equal to a to b of f of y into dy. So that x can be replaced by y. Property number 2. Integral of a to b of f of x dx is equal to minus of integral b to a of f of x dx. That is, here it is a to b outside on the left hand side and b to a with a negative sign on the right hand side. So when we are changing the limits from a to b, from a to b to b to a, we have to reverse the sign, that is negative. Next property, integral a to a of f of x to dx is equal to 0. Property number 4, integral a to b of f of x dx is equal to, there is an intermediate real number c, that is, which lies c between a and b, and the expression is given. I will read once again. Integral a to b of f of x dx is equal to integral a to c of f of x dx plus c to b of f of x dx, where a, b and c are real numbers and a is less than c, which is less than b. So b is the upper limit and a is the lower limit, and c is in between the two. Property number 5, integral a to b is, so this is a summation, integral of summation f of x plus or minus gx dx is equal to, it is separated, integration sign is separated, retain the same limits. Therefore, it is right hand side is equal to integral a to b of f of x dx plus or minus integral of a to b of gx dx. This is summation or difference of two functions. Property number 6, integral 0 to a of f of x dx is 0 to a into a minus x dx. Property number 7, minus a to a, that is, it is spreading, the limit is on the negative side as well as the positive side of f of x dx, equal to 0 if f of x is an odd function, and equals to 2 0 to a, integral 0 to a, it is 0 to a f of x dx if f of x is even. Property number 8, integral 0 to a of f of x dx is equal to, see here the limit is 0 to a, f of x dx is equal to, within the flower bracket, 0 if f of a minus x is equal to minus of f of x. So that is negative sign outside the function. That is equal to 2 into integral 0 to a by 2. The limit is a by 2 of f of x if f of a minus x is equal to f of x. This also you have to remember. Property number 9 is integral a to b, limit a to b, lower limit is a, upper limit is b, of f of x dx equals integral a to b of f of a plus b minus x into dx. Please remember and note down all the points. Pause the video and note down all the important points. This will help you in solving numerical problems. Fundamental theorem of calculus and definite integrals. 1 mark question. Area function ax is expressed as a within x, small x within brackets equals integral a to b f of x dx. The first fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Let f be a continuous AB within square brackets and let a of x be the real function. Then a dash equals f of x for all x belonging to a and b, a comma b. Second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Let f be a continuous function defined on the closed interval a comma b, and f be an antiderivative of f, that is f be an integral of f. Then integral a to b of f of x equals, within bracket, capital F in x, f of x of a to b, that is equal to f of the value of f at x equal to b minus value of f at x is equal to a. This theorem is very useful because it gives us a method of calculating the definite integral more easily without calculating the limit of a sum. The problems and numerical examples of limit of a sum have been deleted from this year's portion. Hence, those examples have not been taken. However, definite integrals using second fundamental theorem of integral calculus will be applied in solving problems, numerical problems associated with definite integrals. Let us take up 1 mark questions. Evaluate the following integrals. Question number 1. Integral minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 sine 5 of x dx. That is solution. Integral minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 of sine to the power of 5x dx is 0, because sine to the power of 5x is odd function. Question number 2. Integral 0 to 1 2x of 2x by 1 plus x square dx. Solution. Integral 0 to 1 of 2x divided by 1 plus x square dx is equal to 1 plus x square is integral of 1 plus x square is log of 1 plus x square, log of 1 plus x square 0 to 1, that is log. So if you put value of x as 0, then log, it will be log 1. If you put log of 1, if you put x is equal to 0, sorry, if we put x is equal to 1, first step is put the upper limit. So if you put x is equal to 1, it becomes a log of 1 plus 1 square. 1 square is 1 itself. So 1 plus 1 is log 2 minus the lower limit. Therefore, log of 1 plus x is 0. Therefore, 0 is log of 1. Log of 1 is 0. Hence, the answer is log of 2. Next question, number 3. Integral, evaluate integral 0 to 1 by root 2 of 1 divided by under root 1 minus x square. That is equal to, this we know from the standard formula, integral 0 to 1, from 0 to 1 divided by root 2 is 1 by under root square root of 1 minus x square dx. That is, the integral of this function is equal to sine inverse of x 0 to 1 by root 2. So we know the integral of 1 by square root of 1 minus x square is sine inverse x. Therefore, we have written sine inverse x, and now we have to put the value of upper limit 1 by root 2 minus the lower limit 0. Therefore, that becomes sine inverse of upper limit is to be put first. So, 1 by root 2 minus sine inverse of 0. So, that is equal to, we know sine inverse of sine 0 is 0 and sine inverse of 1 by root 2 is pi by 4. Question number 4. Evaluate integral 0 to pi by 3 of 3 sin x minus 4 sin cube x dx. So solution. So we have copied the given function as it is, but we know the relationship 3 sin x minus 4 sin cube x is equal to sin 3x. Triple angle formula. Please refer back to the triple angle formula. You will get this expansion can be reduced. This function can be reduced expressed as sin 3x. Therefore, the given integral becomes integral 0 to pi by 3 sine of 3x dx. So sine of 3x integral is cos minus cos 3x by 3. This 3 denominator is the coefficient of x. Therefore, it is cos 3x by 3. Limit is lower limit is 0, upper limit is pi by 3. Therefore, it becomes minus 1 by 3 into minus 1 into minus of 0. 3x is 3 0, that is 0, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, that is equal to 2 by 3. That is the answer. Next question. Question number 5. Integral minus 1 to plus 1, that is lower limit is minus 1, upper limit is plus 1 of x cube by 1 plus x dx. Therefore, solution is integral minus 1 to plus 1 x cube by 1 plus x into dx. That is equal to 0 because x cube is an odd function. X cube by 1 plus x is an odd function. Now, having solved the 1 mark question, we will take up 2 marks question. Question number 1. Evaluate integral minus 5 to plus 5 of mod of x plus 2 dx. Solution. Let x plus 2 is equal to t. This is, we have to solve it by substitution method, which we have done it in indefinite integrals while studying the indefinite integrals. Here also same procedure. Put x plus 2 is equal to t. If we differentiate this, so dx will be is equal to dt. So when now the special case of definite integral is we have to find the value of t, that substituted the new function t for each value of the limits given in the integral. For example, when x is equal to 5 plus 5, t is equal to 7. That is, x is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7. So therefore, t is equal to 7. Then lower limit, if you put x is equal to minus 5, if you put x is equal to minus 5 in this equation, minus 5 plus 2 equals minus 3. Therefore, t equals minus 3. Thus, when x is equal to 5, upper limit, t is equal to 7. And when x is equal to minus 5, the lower limit in the given problem, t is equal to minus 3. Therefore, integral minus 5 to plus 5 of mod of x plus 2 dx is equal to, we have to put in terms of t. So, lower limit of t is minus 3 and upper limit of t is 7. Therefore, we put integral minus 3 to 7 mod t dt. Therefore, it becomes half of, now we have to put it as half of 7 into 7 minus of minus, the lower limit is minus 3. That is, this half is due to t square by 2. So we know the power rule. Integral of t is t to the power of 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. So this divided by 1 plus 1 is appearing as 2 here. Therefore, that becomes 7 into 7. T square is 7 into mod 7 minus of minus 3, the lower limit, into mod of minus 3, that is equal to 7 into 7 is 49. This minus into this minus becomes plus, mod becomes plus, so it becomes minus 9. Minus 9 into minus 9, minus sign is plus 9. So 49 plus 9 is 58. 58 divided by 2 is 29. 29 is the answer. So as I am explaining, some of the items I have not written in the slide. So when I am reading it, you please note down and write how we got 7 into 7 and minus 3 into mod of minus 3. This explanation, you write it, you can elaborate it further. Let us take question number 2. Evaluate integral 2 to the power 2 to 3 of x divided by x square plus 1 dx. So here lower limit is 2, upper limit is 3, and fx is x divided by x squared plus 1. Therefore, let us put x squared plus 1 is equal to t. This is once again a substitution method. Therefore, differentiating, we get 2x dx is equal to dt. dy dx of 1 is 0. So, we are taking only 2x dx is equal to dt, or x dx is equal to dt by 2. Therefore, now we have to calculate the limits. So, when x is equal to 2, that is the lower limit, t is equal to, so 2 into 2, 4 plus 1, t is equal to 5. And when x is equal to 3, that is the upper limit, t is equal to 3 into 3, 9 plus 1 is 10. So t equal to 10. So when x is equal to 2, t equals 5. And when x is equal to 3, t is 10. Therefore, the given integral becomes integral 2 to 3 of x by x square plus 1 dx is equal to integral the new values of t. The lower limit is 5 and upper limit is 10, as we have calculated in the previous step. So that becomes x is equal to x into dx is dt by 2. So we have put it as dt by 2 in the numerator and t in the denominator. That becomes integral 5 to 10 of dt by t. So that will be, again we'll calculate, if you calculate dt by 2t, 2 is taken outside and it becomes half. 1 by t is log of t. Log of t from lower limit 5 to 10. Therefore, it becomes half of log 10 minus log 5, that is equal to log 2. Next question. Evaluate 0 to 2 pi of 2 cos 2x dx. Therefore, solution is 0 to pi by 2. The given limit function is, we can write it as, there is no substitution. We know the integral of cos x is sin x. Therefore, it is sin 2x by 2. The integral of cos 2x is sin 2x by 2 with the limits 0 to pi by 2. Therefore, that can be written as a half, and put the value of upper limit 5 pi by 2 sine of 2 of pi by 2. That is, in place of x, we put the value as pi by 2 minus the lower limit, that sine of 2 into 0, sine 0. That is equal to this 2 and this 2 gets cancelled. That becomes sine pi. Sine pi is sine of 180 degrees. Therefore, that is 0. This is also 0, and sine 0 also is 0. Therefore, it becomes 0. The answer is 0. Question number 4. evaluate integral 0 to pi by 2 sin x divided by 1 plus cos squared x dx. Now we have to solve it using substitution method. So put cos x is equal to t. Therefore, differentiating sin x dx is equal to minus dt. Therefore, when x is equal to 0, t is equal to 1, and when x is equal to pi by 2, that is upper limit, t is equal to 0. Therefore, the given integral becomes 0 to pi by 2 sin x divided by 1 plus cos squared x dx. That is equal to minus of dt by 1 plus t square, because cos x is t. Therefore, it becomes minus of 1 plus t square. The integral of 1 over 1 plus t square using the formula 1 over 1 plus x square we know is tan inverse of t. Therefore, that is limit is 1 to 0. Therefore, it becomes minus of 0. Tan 0 is 0 minus tan 1 is minus pi by 4. Pi by 4 means 45 degrees. Therefore, that is equal to minus of minus become plus. Pi by 4 is the answer. Two marks and 6 marks questions. Let us first take 2 mark question, that is question number 5. Integral 0 to pi. Let I is equal to 0 to pi x of sin x cos squared x dx. Therefore, that can be written as 0 to pi minus x sin x cos squared x dx. That's equal to 2i, that is adding 1 and 2, we get 2i is equal to 0 to pi x plus pi minus x of sin x cos squared x dx is common for both. Therefore, pi into, that becomes pi into x and x minus x get cancelled. Pi is taken outside as common. Integral of 0 to pi cos squared x sin x dx. Therefore, put cos x is equal to t. This equation, previous line, has to be solved using substitution method. Therefore, cos x is equal to t, and dy by dx of cos x is minus sin x, and dt minus sin x dx, that is equal to dt. Therefore, now we have to calculate, find the limit of t for the change values. So, x is equal to, when x is equal to 0, cos 0 is 1. Therefore, t is equal to 1. When x is equal to pi, that is upper limit, pi, t is equal to cos of pi is minus 1. Therefore, t is equal to minus 1. Therefore, that is equal to 2i equals pi is outside into integral 1 to minus 1, the limited new limits of t, that is t is equal to 1 and t is equal to minus 1, 1 to minus 1 of t squared, cos squared is t squared minus dt, that is minus sin x dx is dt, that is minus dt. Therefore, 2i is equal to pi into integral minus 1 into 1. That is, now when we negate it, or negative sign if you want to remove, we have to change the limits. Upper limits becomes the lower limit and lower limit becomes the upper limit. Hence, the limits get reversed. Therefore, that is 2i is equal to pi into integral of t square is t cube by 3. So, 3 is outside at t cube. And now we will substitute the values of t t. Therefore, that becomes 2I is equal to pi by 3 into t cube into the power of 1 is t cube. 1 minus of minus 1 is plus 1. Therefore, it becomes 2 pi by 3. Therefore, 2I is equal to 2 pi by 3 or I is equal to pi by 3 is the answer. Now we will move on to the most important part, that is 6 marks questions. Question number 1. Prove that integral a to b f of x dx is equal to integral a to c of fx dx plus c to b of fx dx. Please note here the limit a to b in the left hand side is changed to two different limits, a to c plus c to b. And we have to first prove that that is the property number 2 of definite integrals, and we evaluate the example minus 1 to 2, integral minus 1 to 2 mod of x cube plus x into dx. Solution. Let f, capital Fx be the antiderivative of fx. That is, integral of fx is capital Fx. Therefore, the right hand side of this equation becomes integral a to c of small fx dx plus c to b of a small f fx dx. Therefore, now we have integrated it and we'll substitute the upper limit first. So f capital F of c minus capital F of a, that is upper limit minus the lower limit of the first term on right hand side plus upper limit of the second term f of b, b is the upper limit, minus f of the lower limit fc. That is equal to integral of a to b of fx is equal to, now you see f of c gets cancelled and it is f of capital F of b minus capital F of a, that is antiderivative of x. That is equal to, that can be written as, by definition we know integral upper limit is b and lower limit is a. Therefore, integral a to b of fx, and that is equal to dx, and that is equal to right hand side, left hand side. So the given equation x cube plus x can be written as minus limit integral minus 1 to 2 within brackets x cube minus x into dx is equal to integral minus 1 to 0 within brackets x cube minus x dx, that is the intermittent limit. So this minus 1 to 2 can be written as minus 1 to 0, 0 to 1 and 1 to 2. So we will take three limits, minus 1 to 0, so x cube minus x dx plus integral 0 to 1 x minus x cube, because in this range x is negative, x cube minus x is negative, so it is written as x minus x cube, the second term dx, plus integral 1 to 2 of x cube minus x dx. So this is first term on the right hand side is positive and the second term is positive due to the limits, upper and lower limits, minus 1 to 0 and 1 to 2, the function is positive, whereas integral 0 to 1 x minus x cube is negative. So that will become, if we integrating, we get x to the power of 4 by 4 minus x square by 2, limit minus 1 to 0 plus the second term is x square by 2 minus x to the power of 4 by 4, limit 0 to 1, plus the third term is within brackets x to the power of 4 divided by 4 minus x square by 2, limits 1 to 2. Therefore, this limit is, because 0 is there, so first term here is 0. So when you put value of x as 0, it is 0. When you put value of x as minus 1, so this is minus of the lower limit, x to the power of 4 by 4 is 1 by 4 minus minus of minus 1 by 2. 1/4 minus 1 by 2. This one is, we have to put the upper limit first. So upper limit is 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4 plus and 0 is, all the terms are 0. The lower limit is 0 here. Therefore, the final term is x to the power of 4 by 4. So if you put x as 2, 2 to the power of 4 is 32. 32 by 4, 2 cube is 8. Sorry, x to the power of is 16. 16 by 4 is 4 minus upper limit, if you put it, 4 by 2 is 2. So therefore 16 by 4 minus 4 by 2 is 2 minus the lower limit here. So x to the power of 4 is 1. 1 if you put it, it is 1 by 4 minus of 1 by 2. So simplifying, we get the answer as 11 by 4. Now we'll take up 6 marks questions. Question number 1. Prove that integral a to b of f of a plus b minus x dx. After proving that, evaluate integral pi by 6 to pi by 3. That is, x is equal to pi by 6 to pi by 3 of dx by 1 plus square root of tan x. This is property number 3 as given in NCERT book. Therefore, solution. Consider integral a to b of f of a plus b minus x dx. That is on the right hand side. A to b of. Therefore, put this function within brackets, that is a plus b minus x is equal to t. Therefore, differentiating minus dx is equal to dt or dx is equal to minus dt. So, now we will put the limits of x to find out the limits of new limits of t. Therefore, when x is equal to a here, t is equal to b. And when x is equal to b here, then t is equal to a. Now we'll put these values in the new limits, new integral. Therefore, the right hand side is we will get integral a to b of f of t of minus dt. So these are the new limits. That becomes, that is, integral b to a of ft dt. Because the integral a to b of f of x dx is equal to minus of integral b to a. That is, the limits are reversed. Upper limit becomes lower limit and lower limit becomes upper limit of f of x dx. Therefore, this is a to b of integral a to b of f of x, and that is equal to the left hand side. Hence, we have proved right hand side is equal to left hand side. This is because definite integrals are independent of variables. Now consider the given function integral when x is equal to pi by 6 to x is equal to pi by 3 of dx by 1 over 1 plus tan squared x. Now we have to substitute the value of tan x in terms of cos x, sin x and cos x. That is the fundamental ratios. That is tan x is equal to sin x by cos x. If you put tan x is equal to sin x by cos x and simplify, we will get the right hand side. This becomes integral pi by 6 to integral pi by 3 of square root of cos x divided by square root of cos x plus square root of sin x dx. So this term on the right hand side can be further written using the property number 3, which we proved as integral pi by 6 to pi by 3. So f of x becomes f of a plus b minus x. Here a is pi by 6 and b is pi by 3. Therefore, f of a plus b minus x becomes square root of cos of a is pi by 6 plus b is pi by 3 minus x divided by, substitute once again a plus b here. So a plus b is pi by 6 plus pi by 3 minus x as given in this formula plus sine. This sine term can also be written as square root of sine of pi by 6 plus pi by 3 minus x. Let it be equation 1. Therefore, I is equal to sin x. We know from complementary angles, cos of 90 minus x is sin x. Therefore, we are substituting the value of in terms of complementary angles. So, the above equation, that is equation 1, after putting the complementary values, becomes square root of sin x divided by square root of sin x plus square root of cos x with the given limit, within the given limits. Therefore, adding one line to this equation plus the equation 1 and equation 2, we get 2i. This is I and this is also I. 2i is equal to limit pi by 6 to pi by 3 of root of cos x as it is, this function cos x plus the second equation, this equation. Therefore, this is the first equation and this is the equation 2. Therefore, we say the numerator is same. If you take numerator common, the numerator is cos x plus sin x and denominator is common. So that is root of cos x plus sin x. Therefore, this becomes cos x square root of cos x plus square root of sin x, which is written in the numerator, and denominator as it is, that is square root of sin x plus square root of cos x dx. Therefore, the numerator and denominator gets cancelled and the remaining term is only dx. We have 2i is equal to integral pi by 6 to pi by 3 of dx. Now, the integral of dx is x. Therefore, 2i is equal to, within brackets, x with lower limit pi by 6 to upper limit pi by 3. So, we will put x equal to pi by 3 first, that is pi by 3 upper limit minus lower limit minus pi by 6. Simplifying, subtracting pi by 6 from pi by 3, we get pi by 6. Therefore, 2i is equal to pi by 6 or I is equal to pi by 12 is the answer. So, we will take up the next question. 6 marks question. Question number 2. Prove that integral 0 to a fx dx is equal to 0 to a f of a minus x dx and hence evaluate log of a 1 plus tan x dx. Consider integral 0 to a f of a minus x dx, that is the right hand side term of this property. Number 4. Therefore, put a minus x is equal to t. Therefore, minus dx is equal to dt. When x is equal to 0, t is equal to a. And when x is equal to a, that is the upper limit, t is equal to 0. So, by putting lower and upper limit, we have found the new limits of t. Therefore, the given function becomes 0 to a into f of a minus x dx. That is equal to substituting ft, this is a minus x is t, f of t minus dx. Dx is minus dt. Now, if we want to remove this integration sign, we have to reverse the limits. Therefore, it becomes f of t is equal to 0 to a f of x. That is, definite integrals are independent variables. Therefore, let I is equal to, now we have proved the left hand side is equal to right hand side. Now we will take up the given function. I is equal to integral 0 to pi by 4 log of 1 plus tan x dx. And again, putting the from P4, property number 4, fx can also be written as I is equal to 0 to pi by 4 log of 1 plus tan of pi by 4 minus x dx. That is, using the relationship f of x integral 0 to a f of x dx is equal to integral 0 to a f of a minus x. So here we have put a minus x. So that becomes, simplifying, it becomes 1 plus 1 minus tan x divided by 1 plus tan x into dx. That is equal to, I is equal to, again simplifying, it becomes I is equal to integral 0 to pi by 4 log of 2 divided by 1 plus tan x dx. Therefore, adding 1 and 2, we get 2I is equal to integral 0 to pi by 4, 0 to pi by 4 log of 1 plus tan x. This equation 1 plus equation 2. That is 0 integral 0 to pi by 4 log of 2 divided by 1 plus tan x from equation 2. So then, because this denominator gets cancelled with the first term, so remaining is integral 0 to pi by 4 of log of 2 dx. Therefore, 2I is equal to integral log of 2, which is constant, into x of lower limit 0 and upper limit pi by 4. First we will put upper limit. Therefore, log of 2 into pi by 4. So, pi by 4 can be taken outside. It is 2I. Therefore, I will be half of that. That becomes pi by 8 into log of 2. Next question. This is pertaining to property number 6. Prove that integral 0 to 2a fx dx is equal to 2 into integral 0 to a. Please see here, in the left side, the limit is 0 to 2a. On the right hand side, it is 0 to a fx dx if f of 2a minus x is equal to fx. And equals 0, f of x dx, integral 0 to 2a fx dx is 0 if 2a minus x is equal to minus of fx. Therefore, hence evaluate 0 to pi 1 over a square cos squared plus x plus sin squared x dx. Let us solve it. Solve solution. Integral 0 to 2a fx dx, left hand side can be written as 0 to a of f of x dx plus a to 2a. That is, we have split the limits of 0 to 2a into two parts, 0 to a as well as the next part a to 2a. So let it be equation 1. So put 2a minus x equal to t. Therefore, dx is equal to minus dt. Consider integral a to 2a. This is the second part in the right hand side, a to 2a of fx dx. Here, when x is equal to a, t is equal to a. When x is equal to a, t is equal to a. That is 2a minus a is a. And when x is equal to 2a, that is the upper limit, 2a minus 2a is 0. So this we obtained by putting the lower and upper limits. Therefore, that becomes a to 0. a to 0 of 2a minus t minus of dt. That becomes, if you remove minus sign, the limit is reversed as 0 to a of the same equation. Therefore, I is equal to 0 to a f of 2a minus x dx. Let it be equation 2. Substituting 2, putting the values of 2 in 1, we get the left hand side integral 0 to 2a fx dx is equal to the right hand side, the first part as it is, plus the second part 0 to a. Only limit is changed. It is becomes 0 to a of f of 2a minus x. Earlier the limit was a to 2a, now it is 0 to a to f of 2a minus x. Therefore, it becomes, if f of 2a minus x is equal to fx, that is the second term is equal to fx, then we get, it gets added up. Therefore, integral 0 to 2a fx dx is twice of f of x dx. Both the terms get added up on the right hand side. Similarly, if f of 2a minus x is equal to minus of 2x, then first and second term get cancelled and we get term on the right hand side as 0. Now, having proved the property number 6, we will take up the numerical example of this. So, it is given, the given equation is written on the left side and the right hand side we have written the formula, that is 2 into 0 to pi by 2. So, the limit you see on the left hand side it was 0 to pi, on the right hand side it is 2 into integral 0 to pi by 2. Other variable functions are as it is. Therefore, I is equal to 2 into 0 to pi by 2, and we are simplifying sine squared and cos squared terms by dividing by taking cos squared common, we get the right hand term is 2 into integral 0 to pi by 2 secant squared divided by a square plus b square x square. You please write down and work out separately. That is, you take cos square common here and simplify the denominator. You get this term. Therefore, here again we have to put the substitution method. Put b tan x is equal to t. Therefore, if we differentiate, b into secant squared x dx is equal to dt. Therefore, secant squared x dx is equal to dt by d. Therefore, at x is equal to 0, in this equation, tan 0 is 0, therefore t is equal to 0. And therefore, similarly, at x is equal to 90, that is pi by 2, t becomes infinity. Tan 90 is infinity. Therefore, the given equation, this equation becomes I is equal to 2 into integral 0 to infinity. The new limits of t are 0 and infinity. You put 0 infinity into secant square dx is dt by b. Therefore, dt by b into a square plus t square. So, b we are taking common and the integration of 1 by a square plus t square is, we know from the knowledge of our integration, indefinite integrals, is within brackets tan inverse of t by a. 1 by a into tan inverse of t by a, 0 to infinity. Putting the value of t as infinity, we get the value of tan inverse of infinity is pi by 2. Minus tan 0 is 0. Therefore, it is 2 by AB, BA into pi by 2 is the answer.